Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Geo channel. I've got some more news for today, and I'm actually sitting down today because I just sprained my right hammy. This is coming at perfect timing since I just healed from spraining my other hammy like 2.5 months ago. So I think this is a sign to just do more crypto stuff and just stay sitting. But anyway, let's just get right into it. I'm going to start with some bad news and then get into the cooler news. So this first one is that Circle dropped ACH payments for Dapper Labs. Now, this came very suddenly. They mentioned the other day that they decided to stop processing these payments effective immediately. So at the moment, Dapper is actively monitoring and working with its payment partners to resolve any issues as quickly as possible because this is not good. If you don't know too much about ACH payments, they allow money to be moved from one US bank account to another. This is typically what's used when you like deposit money into, like, say Coinbase or Robinhood, and you can immediately use them for trading. This is not possible using other methods like wire transfers because those will take between 3 and 5 days to clear, and it's also the reason why you can't withdraw the money the crypto that you deposited into Coinbase until the cash is settled in their accounts. It's just ACH allows this extra addition where you could trade with it because they have some sort of promise that the money will be delivered. But if not, you can't move it out. So yeah, Dapper is attempting to secure a new partner for ACH payments. Good news is that at the moment, people are still able to withdraw USD via wire transfer, and of course USDC is on the blockchain, works 24/7. You can't really get rid of that unless your blockchain goes down. Solana, haha. Anyway, yeah, you can still buy NFTs, credit card, debit card, crypto, stuff like that. I have a feeling, it's a pretty good feeling, this has stuff to do with what the SEC has been doing recently, just all this cracking down, and I'm not too sure what Circle's trying to attempt by doing this, maybe trying to wipe its hands of too much crypto stuff. I don't know. We'll see how this unfolds in the coming weeks. Alright, so this next article, Grayscale just had its court case against the SEC from when they rejected their appeal to have their fund be converted into a spot ETF. So they had a pretty good day in court, which we'll discuss in a second, and now they have to wait the ruling, which could take 3 to 6 months because nothing is actually efficient in politics ever. What's new? Okay, I mentioned that. Okay, so the SEC senior counsel, Emily Paris, her argument hit an early roadblock as the Judge Rao questioned the regulator's argument. So the argument that they used to say no to having the spot ETF. And so the roadblock was that the commission, SEC, needs to explain how it understands the relationship between Bitcoin futures and the spot price of Bitcoin. They're derivatives of each other. I mean, they're linked together to some extent, and they really follow each other 99.9% of the time. And when they don't, it's usually pretty close. So the judge was asking Paris, where is the gap in the commission's view? Like, why are these not equivalent enough, at least? So when asked if the court agreed with Grayscale and what the commission would do, approve a spot ETF or go back on its approval of Bitcoin futures, Paris was unable to answer. Because the thing is, the SEC approved the futures ETF, but then rejected the spot ETF. The argument from the judge is that these two things are equal enough so that when you approve one, you should be able to approve the other. And she had nothing to say. So yeah, what I pretty much mentioned, the judges were questioning the validity of the SEC's argument against the spot ETF. The stock was doing good, up 6%. It seems that a lot of people were agreeing with it. So yeah, if you don't know about GBTC, even though the price is linked to Bitcoin, so it follows it to a certain extent, it's still a different asset in its own right. So the premium is pretty much the difference. Well, it could either be sold at a premium, meaning that you pay more for the equivalent Bitcoin underlying it, or a discount, where the money you put in, you're buying technically more Bitcoin. I'm not sure if that entirely made sense, but pretty much the discount is, well, now down to 42%. So what that means is that for every dollar you put in GBTC, that's equivalent to buying Bitcoin, $1 of Bitcoin at a 42% discount. Whereas before, during the peak of the bull run, when like institutions and stuff wanted to get into crypto but didn't want to hold spot themselves, were buying GBTC at a premium of 50% or even more, meaning every dollar they get of GBTC is actually 50% less of Bitcoin represented by the assets at Grayscale. So it's a little extra volatility on top of the Bitcoin price, but you get the benefit of not having to really manage it, but you also get the added risk of Grayscale going out of business and stuff like that. So really pick your poison. And also there's like fees for working with Grayscale. There's a bunch of stuff. I'm not really going to go too deep into how Grayscale operates right now. But it's good to see that the SEC was a bit rattled by the judge's questions, which, I mean, they probably should have seen it coming, to be honest. Awesome. Screw the SEC. Anyway, last article. One of my favorite coins, Immutable, makes C-suite hires from Meta and Ava Labs, or Ava Labs. I don't know. I don't care about pronouncing things. AVA. So yeah, let's see. So they added 3 positions, all at the C level. C meaning chief, like CEO, stuff like that. So the additions are David Bicknell as the chief financial officer. One day I'll learn how to pronounce things. Devin Ferreira as the chief marketing officer. And this other one isn't a new hire exactly. They just promoted their senior vice president, Jason Swen, to chief commercial officers. These are first for Immutable and not replacements. So these new positions were just created, which looks pretty good for the development of the business and where they're going. So Ferreira joins from Ava Labs. He was the creator of Avalanche. It's interesting to see why he left. I'd like to know that. Is that saying something bad about Avalanche? Is it going under? I don't know. We'll see. Blah, blah, blah. Bicknell, he joined actually last August, so it's been some time. What month is it? It's March, August. That's the 8th month, like about 6 months ago. So just coming out now. And Swen was promoted last month, so fairly recently. And they only just now chose to announce all 3 additions at the same time. Bicknell worked for Meta, Twitter, and several other companies, and Swen worked for Shopify and other firms. So this is pretty important because you're getting people that have experience and that have like made their mark in the corporate world already. You're not hiring just some random people like to work at both Facebook and Twitter. I don't like calling it Meta. It says Metaverse. I don't consider Facebook the Metaverse. Fuck Facebook. Man, I'm just so bitter at all these centralized companies. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I scrolled down too much. The focus of Immutable is to win Web3 gaming and to bring digital ownership to the world. So if you don't know too much about ImmutableX, it's a layer 2 on Ethereum focused on play-to-earn gamings, and they have a bunch of games built on it, some of which you might know, such as Gods Unchained, Gilded Guardians, Illuvium, Ember Sword, and Planet Quest. Personally, I didn't really know Ember Sword and Planet Quest, but I've heard of these other ones. What I didn't know is that Immutable onboarded more games in the 3rd quarter of 2022 than its entire lifetime, going from just 5 at the start of last year to over 100 today. This is good news. I mean, quality over quantity. You want to have games that people play. It doesn't really matter how many games there are if nobody plays them. If they're shit games, you want to have good ones on there. But it's good to see that this activity is ramping up and that they're starting to onboard all these games. Whatever, a lot of words. You can read this if you want. Don't really want to go into it. It just has to do with tokens and stuff. But it's good to see is that Immutable is in great shape with more than 4 years of runway and 280 million plus of cash on its balance sheet. So I'm really bullish on ImmutableX in the long run. Still not buying it right now. Should I go into the charts? No, I'm not getting into the charts right now. Yeah, but maybe once it dips down, maybe around 70 cents, I'm going to start dollar cost averaging, buying like small amounts at a time. I mean, you don't want to put too much money in any one coin. I'll probably end up buying like $5 a day, like here and there, and just like slowly build a position over time because I feel like I mentioned this every video. I don't think we're going into a bull run right away, but I feel good about this coin and I'll be investing it for the medium to longish term, like 3-4 years. We'll see what what the future has in store. And words are difficult. All right. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Until next time, take care.